The wonderful Spencer Oliver, one of the few men alive who can successfully have a bath in a saucer, has just walked into the studio this Thursday lunchtime. And full of fun and happiness as always.
Brilliant.
That's what I love about you, Spence. I can virtually say anything and you'll have a chortle.
Well, I work with Simon week in, week out, don't I? So that, you know, that's nothing to me at all, Jim. Trust me.
Anica-sized, yeah.
Spencer Oliver is with us, and we shall embark on an hour of boxing talk, and we're looking forward to it. Germaine Franklin, Moses Itauma's opponent, is going to join us live in studio very shortly. But at the moment, the three of us are going to become the five of us, because this weekend, the rematch is upon us. Precisely on Saturday in Nottingham, they do it again. It's Leigh Wood, the rematch, up against Josh Warrington. And remember, back in their first fight in 2023, it was Leigh Wood who came out on top when he defended his WBA featherweight title against Josh in Sheffield. Well, now they do it again. And I'm delighted to say both Leigh and Josh join us live this lunchtime. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you.
Well, that's
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So both in different locations. We'll see how this works. Let's start with the man who came out and top first time around. Leigh, how have the preparations been going?
All good, mate. I'm ready to go now. Can't go quick enough for Saturday night.
Yeah, Leigh,
go on, Spence.
Leigh, the last fight you had was against Anthony Kakachi. That was back in May 2025. I think that you were talking then, you know, about possibly retiring, whether you'd come back, whether you wouldn't come back. And you have come back, but this seems the perfect opponent. You two had an absolute barnstormer last time out. And I think at this stage of both of your careers, perfect fight for both of you.
Yeah, you're not going to get a better fight in terms of the fan bases colliding and the atmosphere on the night, like all these things, and also the needle between us both makes for a great night. And yeah, as you just said then, I never was in doubt about fighting. A lot of people publicised that I wasn't sure what I was doing. I never ever said any interview that I wasn't sure. I would have never finished on a low, to be honest.
Josh, is there much needle going into this, or is there a bunch of mutual respect flying about between the two of you?
I think there's a bit of needle, Simon. You know, I don't know really where it's really stemmed from, but it just has seemed to build up over the last couple of years. And yeah, it's got quite hostile in times, but you know, we can put all that to bed on weekend and let these do the talking.
Yeah, Josh, it was all going really well for you for the first 6 rounds in that fight back in 2023. You got caught in the 7th round, a heavy knockdown. The referee stopped it. You felt it was a little controversial. Now, you're getting your opportunity again here, but you've got to go into the Lion's Den here, haven't you? That Nottingham Arena is going to be very hostile for you.
It's going to be hostile, and obviously they'll back Leigh really well. But I'm not coming alone. You know, there's many coming down from Leeds and Yorkshire surrounding areas, and equally, you know, my support makes a lot of noise as well, and they support me really well. So you know, yeah, I'm going into Lions Den, but like I say, I'm not going to be alone. But regardless, it is only me and Leigh in the ring, isn't it?
I mean, what did you take from the first fight, Josh? I mean, in the first fight, as you know, in the studio, I picked Leigh, and I thought your first 6 rounds were brilliant against him, and obviously he got the decision because of the fact he dropped you. You've had fights against Kakachi. He's had fights against Kakachi. People will suggest that, with due respect to you both, that you're maybe not at your peaks anymore. But when you look at the first fight, what did you take away from it, and what do you think you'll be able to deploy in the next round, in the next fight, that you couldn't or didn't in the first fight?
There's moments. I mean, I don't want to give too much away.
No, of course not,
Simon. But there's moments when I felt I could do a little bit more. There's moments when obviously shouldn't have been as reckless. But yeah, the boxing side of it, I thought was more or less perfect. I don't think their team anticipated us doing that so much. But this is the beautiful thing about boxing, and on Saturday night, obviously both camps will have mustered up their own game plans and things, and they're going to try out and what's been done in camp. But yeah, it's doing it in gym is one thing, doing it on the night is another.
Of course.
Lee, first time around, did you think it was an emphatic outcome that you won it? Because Josh insisted that the fight was called off prematurely, but you disagreed then. Do you still think that?
It was definitive, yeah. There's nothing controversial about it. He got dropped, he missed the count, and then even after the ref waved it off, he stumbled over to the ropes and the ropes kept him up. Obviously, no one's really seen that little clip, but yeah, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better knockdown, really. But I think if the ref did give him the time and he had the minute, even if after the minute round, I still think it would have been all right.
Lee, can I ask you where, if and when in your mind you win? I know you said a moment ago that you didn't talk about retirement and no one else heard you, but you were very sanguine, and I was in the studio with you when you talked about potentially losing the fight to Kakachi and where it might take you, and there was an indication from you that this might be the last knockings of you. But it isn't, and you're back, so that's all part of the past now. If and when you win this fight, where does it take you, Lee? Where do you go next? People are talking about potentially, if you win this fight, maybe Josh Padley is someone that you'd fight next. What does it look like for you after this? I know you don't look past him, but
I'm not too sure, man. I've not really thought about it too heavily. But it could be my last one. It could be my last fight. I'd like to finish on a high. All being well, that's what my intentions are. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll look at the landscape, look at the fighters, look at the offers, look at the opportunities. But like I said, I could call it a day. We'll see.
Josh, you heard Lee there saying, no, it was an emphatic win first time around. And that at the end of it all, the ropes held you up. Now I watched, you're sitting there, everybody watching on Zoom. You can see me, you can see Spencer, you can see Lee, you can see Josh. You laughed there, Josh, when Lee said that.
Yeah.
Do you want to engage with him on that? Because presumably you disagree.
Yeah, I disagree, and I just feel that I would like to see this cliff that he's on about, this other angle, this other clip that the rope's holding me up. I have got my hands on the ropes, as you can see many times on any angle you look from. I curse to the skies because I'm annoyed with myself for getting caught, but turn around on the referee's count of 8, and it's going to be argued back and forth about if it's right or wrong decision. But I feel I should have been given the benefit of the doubt. One of the fittest boxers in the country, and recovery is fantastic, but never got the opportunity, so that's why we're doing it again this Saturday.
Yeah, listen, I think, Josh, that, the referee's there to do a job, and I think that, when he looks into a fighter's eyes, he can see whatever, and fighters are gladiators. Of course, you think you can carry on, but really that allows a fighter to continue to fight another day, and that's why we get this rematch. I think that, when you looked at that fight, you look back at that one, the referee done a good job in my eyes, because I think at that point you was in no position to continue.
I was going to say, did you think it was emphatic, Spencer?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'm looking as an outsider, I understand where Josh is coming from, and I understand that fighter's mentality. When you're looking at it from an outside point of view, you go, he's only one or two punches away from something more serious happening. Yeah. It was an emphatic knockdown, and he done well to beat the count. Shows a heart of a lion to get up. Not many fighters would have got up from that. Leigh Wood is one of these fighters that carries punch power in either hand at any given point of a fight. Michael Conlon in that fight, that he went through hell and back in that fight, and in the 12th round got an emphatic knockout in that fight. He doesn't lose heart. He doesn't lose will. So you go, the referee for me done the right
I think so too. I mean, I know Josh will have a different view. I think it was relatively conclusive. I think it was non-debatable. I think the first 6 rounds, I think, with due respect to Josh, to Lee, I think Josh schooled him for 6 rounds and got caught in the same way that Michael Conlon didn't school Lee, but got caught because Lee carries that power. And I suppose Josh will look at it and go, I need to do more of that for 6 rounds and not switch off.
Josh schooled him for the first 6 rounds. Lee, do you feel that your opponent?
Yeah, look, guys,
night?
I'm not moaning about what's happened because it makes for a great rematch. But I've been on both sides. I've been caught and I wanted to carry on in Laura 1, and my coach threw the towel in. Even though I was up, and I was like, no, I was so angry that he threw the towel in, because the fight will always want to carry on. But also, I've been in the other end where the Conlon fight, round 1, I got dropped, and I showed the ref I was all right, even though I probably was a bit shaky. But I said to the ref, I'm all right, so he let me carry on because the bell went. So I've been on both sides. But yeah, like I said, I'm not moaning about it. Makes a great rematch, and let's go.
I think it depends, doesn't it, as well, in those situations. Like, you got caught there, using that as a reference. You got caught there against Conlon in that first round, and the referee then thinks, right, give the kid a chance. Let's see if he can get through that one. But as the rounds tick on, the referee obviously takes a closer look because the fights are hard. And that was a hard fight between you two, where you were both taking a lot of punishment.
It was a good fight as well.
Well, it was a great fight.
Here's the thing, Lee. Josh, that was then and this is now. Josh, you've got to avenge this, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's what I look to do. Like you say, I can appreciate Spencer's and Simon's opinion. Was if the thing is, some of these great fights we've seen in the past wouldn't have like great stories. If the fight was waved off as soon as a fight gets knocked down. I've not really been caught throughout that fight until that round. But hey, bygones be bygones. We're here now, and obviously, if if I'd have gone out the next round and got knocked out, then I wouldn't have been sat here talking about a rematch this weekend. So, we go this weekend, and I feel like I'm in a better physical and mental state of mind for this weekend. So, if anything, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very, very excited.
If these two boys are anywhere near where they were 2 or 3 years ago, and we were surprised at Josh Warrington, how good he was in that fight, because with all due respect, Josh, you still being here, there was a perception that this might be one fight too many for you against Lee. If they're both anywhere near what they were 2 or 3 years ago, it's going to be a great fight and difficult to pick it because
I think it'll be a great fight anyway, because listen, you go, there's a lot of history between these two, and it means a lot. This is all about legacies and how fights are remembered. When British fighters fight British fighters,
you and your
they're the fights they're the fights that people remember. You used that, by the way, on Tuesday, and you use that line.
Let's do it this way then. If you're watching on, you'll get the reaction when you hear it live in talkSPORT. If you're watching on Zoom,
be a great fight.
If on YouTube, I should say, the boys are on Zoom for us here in studio. They're both in shot. Let's get the reaction. So Spencer Oliver, who wins on Saturday night?
That's a great question. I think that it's a tough one to call. I'm going to lean towards Leigh Wood.
Simon Jordan.
If Josh, I don't. In his last performance, I thought Josh was done. If Josh can get to the level he was in 2023, I think the lessons that he'll be able to do. If he can get to the level when he fought him in 23, I think Josh can win this fight.
Get off the fence, Simon.
Okay,
I just did.
He just did. So Simon's heading towards you, Josh, and Spencer has taken Lee. Finally and briefly, Lee, what are you going to bring on Saturday?
I'm going to bring a revised, better version of this scene. The last round of the last fight. I know what I need to do. It's very clear. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not expecting it to be easy, nor do I even want it to be easy. Because you know me, I love to be in a fight where I come through and win. So I'm ready to go Saturday night, and it's going to be a lot cleaner. I know for sure.
Josh, what are you prepared to give to win this thing?
Redemption. Another night in Nottingham.
Great, guys. Nottingham Forest fan is Mr. Wood, and big Leeds fan Josh Warrington. Guys, we like you both immensely. Thank you so much for joining us.
So,
thank you.
Good luck, boys.
How did they do that, Spencer? There's a lot of mutual respect flying about, and they probably do have a lot of time for each other, but it's all out war on Saturday.
Listen, they've shared the ring before, so they've got that, they've got that respect with each other. They've shared that moment before, so you can't not have respect for your opponent when they both went through what they went through. But ultimately, where does the motivation come from? For Leigh Wood, he goes, well, look, there's a possible fight there for Josh Padley if I win this one, and a couple of big fights after that if I come through. That's his motivation. But obviously for Warrington just wants revenge, and that's what he's getting it from. But there'll always be respect because they know what they're going into, these two. Like, one thing we can guarantee is a war.
And Spencer, like everybody else, stood back and watched as John Fury attempted to steal the headlines from it. But Tyson spoke about why he wanted to get back in the ring.
I came back for one reason only, and that's to make boxing great again. Since I retired for the 5th time over a year ago, boxing for me has gone on a downward slope. It's become quite boring, and boxing is at its maximum potential when Tyson Fury is actively fighting. And I didn't say that. An AI, the cleverest AI on earth, said that, ChatGPT.
Tyson speaking there at his own news conference the other day. Spencer, you were sitting there in front of him. Was he right? Has the sport become somewhat boring without him?
Well, listen, I think that people do miss Tyson Fury for sure. Like that unpredictability that he brings to press conferences, to fights. Don't know what guy turns up. So last 10 years, he's been dominant force in this heavyweight division. Him, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's the same. We had him in the studio wanting to kill Simon the other day, but he's just one of those characters who then wants a cup of tea with him 2 hours later. Like, they're unpredictable. They're big characters, outside of the ring. And I think that creates a lot of interest for boxing alone. So look, Tyson Fury coming back is a good thing for the heavyweight division, sure. Can he win a world title again? We'll find out this year, I'm sure.
Have you heard from your chum Deontay?
No, surprisingly, I haven't, no.
No.
I shall look forward to hearing from him when he comes back.
He's getting the call. Deontay told me personally that Simon Jordan, he wants to take him out for a cup of tea, have a little discussion over things. I don't know if he's trying to set him up, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but I did say to him, listen, don't underestimate old Sugar Ray Jordan.
Yeah. No, you should go, Simon. We'll be sitting at the table next, and when it kicks off...
Yeah, and he said this,
we'll
and he said that when you weren't here, yeah. I can imagine.
The strange thing is... I mean, I've had your views about Tyson coming back, Simon, and we share the same view about John Fury and how he behaved the other day.
Yeah.
But I must admit, I'm eager to see what kind of Tyson Fury is going to re-emerge.
Well, once upon a time, the greatest sportsman in the world was the heavyweight champion of the world. And obviously other sports have got bigger and better and bolder and more emphasised. But still the marquee division is the heavyweight division. So if you've got a charismatic character that divides opinion, polarises people's views, has his own style, has done wonderful things inside the ring, has plenty to say for himself, whether you like it or you don't, it's always going to enhance the noise around boxing.
Yeah.
So if the former heavyweight champion comes back and talks in the way that Fury talks and with the charisma and all the sizzle that goes with it, of course it's going to enhance the boxing world. Does he make boxing great again? No. Boxing's okay. Boxing's doing pretty well. There's lots of very great fighters around the world and fights being made across the best divisions. But the heavyweights is always the marquee division. Everything drips and feeds off that. So a big heavyweight coming back with lots of noise, lots to say for himself, lots of controversy, and lots of drivel at times, creates interest. And that's not a bad thing. So it gives more seasoning and sizzle to the boxing world. So I'm pleased that he's back.
One of the I would have thought significant news lines that's come out of it, although I haven't seen it covered much, Spencer, is that Fury claims he'll have no trainer for the fight against Makhmudov. The American coach Sugar Hill Stewart has trained Fury since 2019, so we've been used to them working together. But there's going to be nobody, apart from his cuts man, his whoever in the corner, but no definitive trainer alongside him.
He's going to need somebody, and yeah, of course, that's news lines again, isn't it? He's going to need someone to train him. Who holds the pads? You know, who stands over him when he's doing certain things throughout his training regime? So there will be someone. That someone, I believe, will be his father. I think that they will probably his dad used to train him years ago, and I believe that his dad will be a prominent part of the training setup this time.
It's interesting because in one of the utterances that have not been sort of guttural from his father recently was the observation that Tyson's coming back, doing it against his wishes, doesn't understand why he's there, and he's not going to be involved. So that's a sort of contradiction to what you're saying, but you think it's going to be John Fury.
Listen, I do. Otherwise, who's it going to be? You know, he's saying there's going to be no trainer. Somebody has to be there. You can't do it on your own.
John Fury might be busy bashing up 5'2" Ukrainians or picking fights with Steve Bunce or whatever he's doing recently.
I heard he's looking
for avoiding Carl Froch.
He's looking for Carl Froch, isn't he?
Yeah, all he has to do is adjust his eye line.
To be fair to him, John Fury has apologised on social media to Steve Bunce. And I had a look at that earlier on.
We should.
We're still waiting for the apology from Deontay to you. But we'll see if that's a bit of a waste of time. These two were due to fight back in January, but the fight was postponed until March the 28th because of an injury suffered by one of the fighters. The fighter who suffered the injury was young Moses Itauma, of whom so much is expected. In the other corner was the American Germaine Franklin, who has had to wait and get his opportunity again. And that opportunity is coming up next month on the 28th of March in Manchester. So Germaine Franklin over from the States again, and he will go in against Moses Itauma. And I'm delighted that having spoken to Moses the other day, we can now speak to his opponent. Germaine joins us live in studio. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. Preparations for it. I mean, it's second time round, isn't it? How did you cope with that when all of a sudden, forget it, you're not fighting, Itauma's injured?
I try not to be down about a lot of stuff. I just look at it as more time to prepare for the fight.
Germaine, you've been over here a few times now, and you'll be known to a lot of the British fight fans for the fights with Anthony Joshua, the loss that you had there on points, and the Dillian Whyte controversy. Did you win it? Did you not win it? It was a very close fight, but you boxed some big names over here, so you're used to the British crowd and whatnot. What do you think about fighting over here? And obviously, it's going to be difficult here against Moses, who's the kid that everyone's talking about as the next big heavyweight star.
I mean, I love fighting over here. I love the passion the English fans have for boxing. You know, they love the sport, so I love that they just love the sport. They're very honest about it, so I respect that. And I've been an underdog a lot of my career, so it's nothing new. You know, just another day in the office.
Do you feed off that as a fighter, like, because you've brought over here as Anthony Joshua for his comeback fight, if you like, and the same with Dillian Whyte as well. You didn't come out victorious that time, but this kid now, they're seeing you as a stepping stone, as opposed to, you know, that to get onto that next big level, and you the guy to give him the rounds. Do you feed off that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that part I take a little disrespected. You know, the stepping stone gatekeeper type of thing. I don't appreciate that, but you know.
But that's what I'm saying about feeding off it, like because that's how they'll see you go, right. Germaine Franklin's going to give us rounds here because this kid can't get any rounds. But that's how they're looking at it. If
they look at me as just rounds, they're gonna be sadly mistaken. You know, I'm in here to fight. I love to fight. I give my heart and soul to this sport. So if they thinking that I'm just gonna be easy rounds, then you know they're sadly mistaken. Yeah,
I mean, you had a great win last time out, Ivan Draco. He was the Olympic bronze medalist, a kid that was 15-0, I believe, 14 KOs. Again, maybe going in there as a slight underdog for this guy, and you turned him over.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I fought a good fight. You know, I had just lost my father like a couple weeks before the fight, so it was kind of tough mentally to be able to stay focused. Just a lot of stuff was rushing my mental at the time, but I did enough to get the job done.
What do you think of Moses? You'll hear that we're all talking him up. He's magnificent in the ring. He's a wrecking ball, and he's so young. You're getting in with him next.
I give respect to all fighters. I think Moses is a great fighter. He uses his hands well. He changes levels well. He has nice combination punches. But I study a lot of game. I study a lot of film. So I see small stuff I could capitalize off of. I have the ring experience to be able to show different looks and give different looks. So he hasn't really been tested as far as someone seasoned that can just give him different styles, change the looks up, not someone that's just going to sit there and be a punching bag. So
do you think, I mean, he's never gone past 2 rounds so far, Jermaine. Do you think you could be the first to take him into what would be uncharted territory for Moses?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to be the first to beat him. Forget uncharted territories. I'm trying to be the first to give him to take away his O on his record. So, you know, I guess people think like when you got a young superstar that everybody else is just a walkover or a standing stone. But, you know, I come to fight. I really come to give it my all and to shock the world.
I mean,
shock the world.
Jermaine, the fight was obviously meant to take place in January. You were over here before that. You were working hard. Disappointment that the fight actually got cancelled. How do you readjust? What do you have to do in between that time to reset? Because a fighter has to hit it right, and it is all about timing. You have to take a little bit of time out before you go again. How have you had to do that?
I mean, I was disappointed, but you know, boxing is full of surprises. So you know, don't dwell on it too much. Just get back, rethink, make game plans with your coaches, and get back to it.
And you're training in the barn now, up in Elstree, the gym that I'm familiar with, where Don Charles trains Daniel Dubois. What's it like in there? Like, it's a little bit of a rocky set in there, isn't it? When you think about it, do you know what I mean? It's like on a farm.
I mean, I'm a simple guy. I done trained in garages before, so you know it's not. As long as we got bags in the ring, I'm okay. I don't really dwell on where we're training at, but you know, as long as we got the equipment, I'm good. I can be outside.
I mean, you're cast in this role, which is not seeded in disrespect, but you're cast in this role of rebuilding Dillian Whyte, rebuilding Anthony Joshua, and now as a stepping stone, potentially. I don't think, in no way do I think Moses Itauma is suggesting that. He knows he's got a fight in front of him. But why take this fight? Because it seems to me that lots of people are avoiding Moses Itauma. I know that Kubrat Pulev was in the discussion, but he wanted a ridiculous amount of money to make the fight happen because it was a zero-sum game for him. What's in it for you? If you're constantly cast in this role of being someone else's prop.
Simply because I'm not scared. I love to fight, and I'm not scared of no one. I'm not scared of no man. Every man bleeds like I am. It's just in boxing, like I said, it's a lot of politics, so they paint the narrative, and that's what they want the narrative to be. They want me to be like the gatekeeper or the stepping stone. Sure. That's just a narrative painted on me, but it's up to me and my power to change that narrative.
But how about because we were discussing the fight the other day on a show that myself and Spencer do with Paul Smith and Paulie Malignaggi, and talking about the reality of your fight plan and what you might do and what the credibility of this fight happens to you. And the perception is that you're durable, difficult to put away. You've had 1 knockout in 10 fights yourself, so you don't bring that threat to Moses Itauma. But really, there's credibility in this for you if you take Moses Itauma 12 rounds. rather than win the fight. How do you respond to that sort of observation?
I mean, like I said, I'm looking to win. I don't just if you're a fighter and you're coming in there to last, then this is not the sport for you. I'm coming in there to kick ass, and win. I'm not coming in there to be a pushover or a punch bag for nobody.
We should, Simon, remind everybody of who he's going in against. We spoke to Moses Itauma just the other day, and for someone so young, so much is expected of him, and quite rightly, because so far he hasn't put a foot wrong.
No, and that's why I feel like it's a very tough fight for me. Like, obviously it's nice to hear that people think that I'm going to be able to like knock him out in the first or 1 or 2 rounds, but I guess I've got to work so hard for something that's said so casually. Obviously the best thing known to Germaine Franklin is that he's able to take people the distance and still give back. So that's the only question marks in my career when everybody's asking, what's his chin like? Or what's he going to be like in the later rounds? I believe that Germaine Franklin is going to be able to answer some of them questions. And if he can't, then I'm a product of my own success, or a victim of my own success. So either way, I just think this is a perfect fight for me.
Yeah, Jermaine, listen, I think that there's a lot of people that are over here that may not know boxing as well as other people that talk about this fight, you know, and when Moses Itauma can get this fight done. Can he get it done early and whatever? You've never been knocked down, never been knocked out in your whole career, have you? And you've been in with some big punches, some big names. So that they may be underestimating your ability in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I always been underestimated. It adds a little fuel to the fire, you know. I don't take no slight from it. But I always been casted in that light as somebody that wasn't supposed to be where I am today, and I keep proving people wrong time after time.
What do you make? I mean, it's not your job to be a cheerleader for Moses Itauma, and we're not trying to cast you in that role. But when you look at the recent form that he's been in terms of Dempsey McKean, went 11 rounds with Filip Hrgovic, he got destroyed by Moses. Dillian Whyte got destroyed by Moses. When you look at, and obviously you've been in with Dillian, so you share an opponent there. When you look at Moses, what do you see in front of you?
I mean, I see a good fighter. I see someone that's going to punch and throw a lot of combinations. Style make fights, and you know, all fights are not made at the right time. So a lot of people prejudge because a guy looked at this way against me, and he looked different against a different opponent. It's just different times, different fights. You know, I would say that I fought the better version of Dillian Whyte than he fought.
I think that's a fair comment.
I know, Simon, you're sitting right beside Germaine.
Yeah.
And we're mindful of the fact of what happened when Simon was sitting very close to Deontay Wilder. Do you doubt that Germaine can take Moses Itauma into the later rounds?
I think he's going to get knocked out. I do. I think I just know. And by the way, saying someone's going to get knocked out is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting Germaine. I'm looking at the fight, looking at Moses Itauma, looking at what I've seen from Germaine. And I think that ideally, I don't want to see an early fight. I want to see a good fight. I want to see Germaine stick it on Moses Itauma. I want to see a good fight. And ultimately, we have an enjoyable evening watching two good fighters put something out. But I think Moses, I don't think he's been in with someone as quick and as fast and at this stage in his career. Going in with Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte at their stages in their career is not the same going in with Moses. But on the other side of it, Moses isn't as experienced and as wise as those two fighters.
And that's
so there's a trade-off. But I think, personally, with due respect to the man sitting next to me, I think he's going to get knocked out by Moses.
But there's nothing to suggest that he will get knocked out because he's never been knocked down, never been knocked out.
And I'm happy to be wrong.
No, but what I'm saying
is
he's been, yeah, absolutely. But I say he had been in at the time with Anthony Joshua. Yeah, he was on a rebuild and a comeback, but that kid can whack, and he's still very, very dangerous. And Germaine took some flush shots from him.
The big question about Anthony at that fight, and it's always been about Anthony, was he gun shy? And there was,
he was letting the shots
go. There was an
though.
allegation at that fight he was getting himself through that fight. Moses Itauma won't navigate this fight.
I made him
we'll see.
Shy. See, that's the difference between skills and just watching it. I made him fight that way. It wasn't that he had to fight that.
Fair enough.
I made it that way.
Fair enough.
It's different when you're in the ring.
Of course.
You know, so like everybody expects Moses to come out and fight this way or do this and do that. I won't let him.
No.
He's going to have to try. He's going to have to try and try again and work out different game plans.
So, Jermaine, explain a little bit about that, how you do that. So, like, you're known as a very awkward fighter and a difficult fighter to look good against. Yeah, you have good durability, but you come in low, you throw the jabs, you come in low, and you're very awkward. Like, do you adjust your style to each and every opponent and what they do? Or is that just the way you fight? You've got that natural gift of being a very awkward fighter?
I just got the gift of being awkward and being able to adjust to different fighters. So, to me, I'm a back foot fighter. in my personal opinion, I'm a back foot fighter. But if I can't fight on my back foot, then I will try different ways to see how can I attack you, try to see different ways how can I get you to pressure me or attack me or see what your weak points are. So me being awkward is just an extra advantage on top of my skill.
You touched on it, Jermaine. You said earlier, I've always been the underdog. Maybe I shouldn't even be in the position I'm in at this particular stage of my career. Has it been a tough journey?
It's been kind of tough, but I just love the game. I love the hustle. I love to prove people wrong. Like when I first turned pro, they told me I was too fat, I was too short, I wouldn't amount to nothing. Yeah. You know, and now I fought 2 world champions. So I've been proving people wrong my whole life. It's nothing new to me.
Jermaine, when Simon suggested that it's his view, and he's quite right to have his view, that you'll get knocked out, I saw you bristle, and it looked as if you might throw a punch at Simon.
No,
Simon, not at all. Simon is, for that reason, no, I'm joking. Simon is leaving us today at this particular time in the show. Spencer and I will take it up to 1 o'clock with you if you're happy to do that.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
Fabulous. Mr. Jordan, you can go. Run for your life. Simon Jordan has left the building. He has an arrangement. He has a meeting that he has to attend. Nothing to do with the fact that he's just told Germaine Franklin that Germaine will be knocked out by Moses Itauma when the two fight. But Germaine, on a serious note, in studio and proving to be a very, very popular guest on the show. Many people getting in touch, Germaine. Fully respectful, and I truly mean this, fully respectful of what you have done in the fight game. And what you've done is considerable. I think only 2 defeats in 26. And you've been in with the best and you fought the best. And Moses Itauma, we think, might become the best. So in no way would you shirk a challenge.
No, I don't. I love the challenge. I like it. You know, a lot of people shy away from it, but like I said, I love boxing. Boxing changed my life since I was 13 years old, so I would never shy away from anything.
That's the game, though, isn't it? Like you say, you love the challenge. Yours is all about getting the opportunity. You had it against Dillian Whyte. You had it against Anthony Joshua. Now you get it against Moses Itauma. But on the flip side, from Moses Itauma's point of view, you go, he's loving the challenge because he's now getting an opportunity to see if he can step up to that next class, you know, that world-class sort of level, because that's where you've been campaigning for a while now.
So, in that light, I feel like he's trying to challenge himself, but I think they're thinking about it the wrong way. You know, a fight should not be held up on contempt of what I can do or if I can do this. It should be held on the contempt of I'm out here to win. I'm out here to go to war. I'm out here to sacrifice. You know, I just look at it differently.
Tell me about your journey. Born in Michigan, you're 32 now. What is it like being in the fight game, committed to your sport? How did you find the sport?
My stepdad, Darwin Lamar. I don't want to say I was a bad kid, but I was getting into a couple fights. And one day I came home that was drawn to me. I don't want to say I was drawn to it, but it's like boxing sought me out.
Do you know what? We've just witnessed that is very much the case. And I'm going to say it, in the last commercial break, you're okay with this, Jermaine? You were on at Spencer about, I need to get into the gym tonight. I want to train late. I want to work out late. You need to get the gym open. And you're saying, well, you'll try and do that, and you're going to be there so that Jermaine can get what he wants. I mean,
listen, I understand it. Like, so Jermaine's saying, listen, this is where I like to train. This is the time that I like to train. You know, I don't want to train really in the day. Like, it's about having everything on point. When you're in a training camp, right, it's about leaving no stone unturned. People don't realise this. Like, you go, if you do something that's slightly out of the ordinary, you know, it can mess up. Like, it's the mind. It's like 80% mental, this game, and 20% physical. And your mind has to be right to go, I've left nothing unturned. And do you know why that is, Jim? Because when you get into a crisis, let's say we were in round 10 and you get caught with a shot and you go down and everything else, you need that discipline, and you get these little voices that come up in your head and go, listen, and if you've left some stone unturned, these voices come up and they're telling you the wrong thing. And you go, I've got to get up. I've got to do this. I've worked harder than anyone else. I'm understanding where he comes from. I don't want to train at 12:30. I want to train at 8:30.
The heavyweight division, though, Jermaine, what has happened to it? Has there been a drop-off there, you know, from the heydays of the likes of Mike Tyson? In your country, what's happened over in the US?
Yes and no, I would say. I just think we had to get more kids into the sport. It's not as sought out as it once was, so we have to get it back exciting as far as overall fan standpoint. You know, boxing used to be global. They fought in Japan, they was fighting in Africa, they used to fight everywhere.
Yeah.
So now it kind of slowed down on the aspect of how the world views boxing. But you know, like our countries love it, but as a world view, it kind of slowed down. So I think we just have to get it back exciting, get it back to where kids like the sport, and it will start to pick up more. I say yes and no to that because at that time I loved the old boxers. So I love Holyfield's my favorite boxer. You know, I love the old guys. I love that generation of boxing. Everybody fought each other. It wasn't a lot of ducking. There wasn't a lot of money reasons because of the belts and all that type of stuff. You had one belt, everybody tried to fight for that one belt. So it was like as boxing evolved, it kind of got watered down a little bit, which probably made the sport look a little dry in an aspect because certain people don't want to fight each other, or I want to hold this belt, I don't want to lose my belt, or I want you to pay me a crazy amount of money to fight you for your belt. So in that aspect of it, it kind of dried out a little bit. But I think boxing's still here. I think we proved time and time again that we're a sport that's going to be here for a long time.
Do you still keep in touch with Holyfield? Do you know him?
No, I don't know. I never met him.
You never met him?
Never met him.
And he's a guy that you've looked upon as a top
I
match.
like all the old guys. Him, Riddick Bowe, Tyson, you know, Ali. No disrespect to Ali, but I wouldn't put, like, when I was coming up, you know, Holyfield was the guy. Riddick Bowe was the guy. Tyson was the guy. Ali is a great. I love the old tapes, and I watch a lot of the old tapes. I like how
do they go on too long, though, Jermaine? Do they fight too long? Holyfield could be accused of that, couldn't he?
Yes, him. I feel like him and Foreman fought a little too long. I feel like they could have hung it up a little earlier. But as we see time and time again in this sport, it seems like it's hard to quit.
You said it yourself. You said that, you know, you quit 5 times. Something just keeps drawing you back. That's what our sport does. Like, you go, that is the difficult thing to, like, know when enough's enough, because the fighter, I think, is the first one to know it, but the last one to admit it. And people like Holyfield and all those, you go, they've had those highs, you know, and they can fill the arena, and they miss all that. That's the buzz.
We can never get it through our minds why these guys go on and on. I remember an American commentator asking Holyfield, you've got everything you need in life. You've got properties everywhere. You've got enough money. You could air condition hell. That was the point that the guy made to him. And Holyfield agreed. And he said, but fighting's fighting.
I feel like after you fall in love with the sport, it's hard to find that love in anything else.
And did you know, it's that, Jim, it's that whole, like, missing the arena, you know what I mean? You walk out and that whole arena's there for you, and it's that buzz and getting your hand lifted up, like, when you have a close fight or whatever, and you're standing there, you don't know what way it's going to go, and you're thinking, right, what way they're going to go here, and they call out your name. That is the ultimate buzz, and I think that's what a fighter struggles to give up. You know,
it's like for me, it's very deep. Like I can come to the gym. I might not even have to work out, but just to see a gym full of boxers, I'm happy. I want to help. I want to help people hit the pads, hit the bag, show them punches, show them different techniques that they can do. I guess I'm at home. Brilliant. I'm at peace in the gym.
We'll finish on this. One guy who carries on and on is Deontay Wilder. And Wilder's going to go in against Derek Chisora, it could be said of him, he carries on. Anyway, the two go in against each other, Jermaine, on April the 4th. I'll ask you about the Bronze Bomber in a moment. We mentioned that Simon had something of an altercation with Deontay Wilder recently. I don't know if you've seen this, Jermaine. Feast your eyes on this.
We're not going to talk about him at all.
But as part
We're not going to talk about him at all. I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
I got the proof. I got the people to tell it. I ain't never lied about nothing in this business. You can believe what? Why is it so hard to believe a black man in a white man?
Nothing to do with color.
It's hard to move on when you don't know the truth. You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it. That's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand. Man, let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Talking about my peoples and all that. It's hard to believe a black man than a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts. I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him that can know. I don't about that.
I'm not a Fury fan.
I don't about it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
That was that. Now, Jermaine, that all kicked off because Wilder claimed that Tyson Fury had cheated when they fought, and Simon endeavoured to bring that up, and you can see the reaction it got. Is the Bronze Bomber, is Deontay Wilder still up there? Is he still a big name and a big pool in your sport?
He's still a big name, but I I wouldn't technically say he's still up there. I mean, probably another couple big fights will put him back up there in that position. But you know, boxing is kind of it's kind of hard to stay at the top. If you're not winning, then you're kind of like dropped off instantly. So it's like it's one of those sports where either you have the name to where everybody wants to see you fight all the time. That's how you stay at the top, or you have to win.
You're always just one win away though from that big fight, aren't you? You know what I mean? When you look at it and you look at this pool, you go like you and Deontay Wilder could be a million miles away, not even being talked about. And you go all of a sudden, Deontay Wilder beats Derek Chisora, you beat Moses Itauma, then the fight's being talked about. And that's the game that we're in, and I think that's what makes it exciting. You know what I mean? They won't mention your names at
Let's finish on that, Spencer. Let's finish on that. I mean, obviously, you're hugely confident in your own ability, Jermaine. It's widely thought Moses Itauma will win on the night, on the 28th of March in Manchester. But you leave the studio this lunchtime fully convinced that because of your own ability and what you've got, that you'll beat Moses.
Yeah, I'm fully convinced I'm going to bring it home. I'm fully convinced I'm going to show people some stuff that they never seen from me before. I've been working, trying to go back to some old stuff I used to do. And I'm fully confident in my coach and my game plan.
It's been great having you in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate you.
Germaine Franklin with us live this lunchtime. Mr. Jordan has gone, so it just remains for me to thank you, Spencer. Oliver.
Thank you, Jim.
We do this every week, Jermaine. It gets quite emotional. Thank you, Spencer, for everything you've done, not only here at talkSPORT, but for the sport of
I appreciate you, Jim.
Big fight this weekend. Warrington Wood 2. Josh Warrington takes on Leigh Wood. Leeds versus Forest, it often gets billed as. Our next guest has been in with Josh in a pretty brutal fight back in the day. He's now moved into the world of bare knuckle, or he's about to. It's Lee Selby. Good afternoon, Lee.
Good afternoon.
Lee. Let's talk about, I mean, it's been a long time in the offing, this fight with Josh and Lee. Yeah, I mean, your fight, you got cut very early in your fight with Josh. You had a couple of bad cuts, clashes of heads, didn't you? And it affected the fight from your point of view. And unfortunately, from your point of view, you lost the title fight. So what are your memories of that and being in with Josh?
So my memories of the fight, well, first of all, just walking into the ring. I was expecting it to be a lot more hostile, but I was brought around sort of like the back entrance.
Because it was at Ellen Road, wasn't it?
It was at Ellen Road in the football stadium, maybe 40,000 fans. But I was expecting a bit of hostility. But they brought me in around the back entrance. The security were covering me up. I didn't really see anybody. Right. And that hostility really fires me up and makes me perform a lot better.
Right.
And
that's interesting. So you would like to have gone through the front door,
100%.
Really? Yeah.
What, for your adrenaline? Get yourself going. Yeah.
I remember boxing in Belfast 2012 against Martin Indy, defending my British title. And again, they were really hostile. It brought me up and I thought, right, I get like a chip on my shoulder. I'll show you guys now. And then I sort of silenced the crowd there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't what I expected. And then in the fight then, I really struggled to make the weights, the 9 stone limits. I'm a big frame for 9 stone. 8 stone 13 I weighed in. Well, I tell you the truth, I was in the sauna the day of the weigh-in. I got down to 8 stone 12 by accident. I took a little bit too much weight off. I had a drink, gone to the scales, and you can see by a few of the pictures I was drained of the weight. And I remember the first jab I threw, I knew I was
no power.
It was just laboured, slow. And
that must be a horrible feeling.
Come back slow. I thought, I'm not going to win.
That must be a horrible feeling in such a big fight, in a big title fight like that, and you know from your first punch it's not going to happen. It's not your night.
Well, that's it. It's a terrible feeling. Probably the biggest fight of my career.
Sure.
Because two British fighters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hostility in the build-up, and then as the fight progressed, I got caught with a clash of heads.
Yeah.
Cut early on, maybe the third round, and looking back. Well, I've spoke to Chris Sanigan, my manager at the time, who was in my corner working on the cuts. Looking back, I think they should have stopped the fight. It would have went to a no contest. I still would have got paid, would have kept the belt, and then I could have moved up in weight. But I mentioned this to Chris Sanigan previously, since the fight, and he said I was coming back into the fight. So I had a good round, and he thought I was gonna win the fight.
And wasn't there a did you get cut again later on in that fight? Yeah,
cut twice
with another clash of heads. Yeah.
And I don't know whether Josh Warrington does it deliberately, but the fights previous and after mine, you done the same sort of thing, cut him in the heads, or whether it's just his style where he's quite erratic and he comes in with a lot of aggression.
How do you see this second fight then? How do you view it? Who's your winner?
So the first fight, I watched sort of like highlights of it, and it looked to me that Josh Warrington was winning the fight, and then he got obviously caught with a big shot.
Yeah.
And with no disrespect to either fighters, I respect them both. Obviously, I respect every fighter. I think that they're slightly past their best, and I think both of their punch resistance have sort of starting to wear off.
Yeah.
Josh Warrington isn't known as a big puncher, although he punches solid. Leigh Wood is a big puncher. And I think if the fight goes the distance, I'd pick Warrington to win on points.
Okay.
If it stops early, Leigh Wood by knockout.
Is that because you think
Leigh Wood by knockout?
Warrington's got he's got more durability?
He got a higher work rate.
Right.
He's boxed at a higher level. I know they're both previously been world champions, but he's been in higher level fights against better opposition.
Yeah.
And Leigh Wood, funny enough, my younger brother boxed Leigh Wood in the ABA finals. He boxed him twice. Once in his hometown of Nottingham, and once again in the boys' clubs of Great Britain. Beating him both times.
Oh, interesting.
But psychologically, in elite sport, psychology is massive.
Oh,
so it must be a massive advantage for Leigh Wood, obviously having won the first fight, going into it.
Well, he knows no matter how far behind he is on points,
he's got a chance.
He got that equaliser punch, and he can always knock him out. He's done it once. There's no reason why he can't do it again.
Now, you're moving into the world of bare knuckle boxing. We've talked a lot about it on the show. So we had Paulie Malignaggi in the other day, who's still going strong. So what's made you go for that? What is it? Something you kind of? Carl Froch was saying, excuse me, a man in the news that had it been around in his day, he might have gone down this route. He quite likes the idea of it. Maybe not against John Fury, but anyway.
So I've been toying with the idea for quite a while. I retired from boxing a few years now. My last fight I boxed a guy who was 10 years younger than me, and I think that was why I lost the fight. My legs sort of slowed down. Although the first few rounds I was winning the fight.
Yeah.
And the bare knuckle boxing is only 5 rounds, so I know I won't have a problem with the distance. And the level of the opposition starting off won't be the level of the opposition if I went back to boxing. I'd have to be straight in the deep end. And I don't think I could... Well, I could possibly compete at the highest level in boxing with gloves on. But with the bare knuckle, I'll be starting again sort of from scratch. It's a different sport.
What's the sparring doing like? You've obviously tried it out. How have you found it?
So the sparring, I've just been doing the same.
Right.
Obviously, big gloves, head guard.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to risk no injuries.
So you can't really prepare for it till you get in there.
Really.
What about the ring's different, isn't it? It's like more of a cage?
A triangle.
Triangle, yeah.
Triangle ring.
So in the
trigon, the mighty trigon.
Yeah, in your like boxing ring.
Yeah.
You can get a rest, can't you? You can go on the ropes. You can have a bit of a rest.
Yeah, ring craft.
Especially in my style with the ring craft.
Yeah.
In general,
completely different.
Bigger ring.
Yeah.
So this is more of a shootout for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And you think that they don't usually go the distance.
As a man who suffered some bad cuts, I mean, one of the issues, although I think they're more superficial cuts because the shots aren't as big, but you do get a lot of cuts and a bit more blood in bare knuckle. Is that a concern to you? And Paulie Malignaggi was showing us a beaut on his forehead the other day that he's got.
Well, I haven't got much to lose. Now, in all seriousness, the cuts could possibly be a problem. Although I don't plan on hanging around to get hit
too often.
A clip, no. But again, I know it's a different sport. But with the boxing I've been cut, with the experience being cut in those fights, I should be able to take it in, and it should keep me in good stead.
Yeah. So have you got a first fight in the bag yet?
But when I signed the contract, they did mention October headlining in Wembley.
Oh wow!
Although I'd like to bring it a bit closer.
So what about on your training? Obviously, you haven't boxed for like 4 years. No. So your skin, obviously, when you're boxing regularly, it is tough.
Yeah.
So have you found that you've had to get that back? Do you know what I mean? When you're in the gym?
So at the moment, I've only just started sort of like taking back over, just getting my body sort of ready for serious training. I've just been training like once a day, one run, or a weight session or a boxing session, and I'm slowly building up because it is a bit of a long way away, and I don't really want to peak too soon.
Are you excited?
Excited, and if I said I wasn't scared, I'd be lying.
Interesting.
I got that little fear factor because it's a new sport.
Sure.
I'm going into the unknown. Although I say that, I was scared every boxing match.
Really?
Not scared. It's a fine line between fear and nerves, but it's how you control it.
And you can turn the nerves into excitement. That's what you have to do.
Some fold under the nerves and the pressure, but I sort of use it to my advantage.
Couldn't go in to London Coney for the next couple of days, could you?
Yeah, that's what he needs you down with the Arsenal boys.
And the Arsenal boys.
So yeah, best of luck, and we'll keep an eye on your development. And hopefully, you think maybe before October, ideally, you'd like to be in just to give it a try.
Hopefully, I can bring it forward to maybe the summer.
Okay.
Although October will give me enough time to get this bit of weight off.
Well, look out for Lee then in BKB Bare Knuckle this Saturday. We've got BKB Bare Knuckle Boxing. It returns to talkSPORT live from the Indigo, London's O2 Arena. The card boasts local talent with both Dan Giddins and Kevin Greenwood involved, plus a world title main event which sees the Bridgerweight title on the line. That's live BKB Bare Knuckle Boxing this Saturday from 7 p.m. on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel.